hearings. This message I want to talk to us about is concerning the Esan race and also concerning group of people that were put together with lies. And of course, if a group of people were combined together with lies, truth will eventually separate them. But before I proceed, in this my submission that I am submitting before the doorpost of Esan night, I would like to draw your attention or bring to your remembrance the story that surrounds River Niger. We were told a false story as concerning even the history of River Niger. We were told that Mongo Park founded River Niger. This is a lie. Fact is having it that before Mongo Park discovered River Niger, there were African Aboriginals that discovered River Niger already, because the territory where River Niger is located, you have ancient African Aboriginal who were residing there as their homeland. That Esan people are children of Oba of Benin that you have always heard is a lie. That Esan people are descendants of the Benin people is a lie. That Esan language is Ediod language is a lie. So, this is what I meant by telling us earlier that the Esan race can be likened unto the falsified story that surrounds River Niger. Before Mongo Park ever got to the area of River Niger, there were people there. I want to bring to our remembrance as well that the Esan people are native Aboriginals, should be case as Esan sons and daughters, as Esan royal fathers that are supposed to be the custodian of Esan identity, should in case they have forgotten. This is why I quickly deem it fit to bring it to your remembrance to let you know that Esans are native Aboriginals. Before Igodomigodo was formed, Esan already had their settlements. There were Esans in Ekboma before Igodomigodo was formed. There were Esans in Uzea, Ewu, before Igodomigodo was formed. There were Esan settlement, there were Esan people, indigenous people of Esan, in Ubiaja, before Igodomigodo was formed. Esan already had their settlements before Igodomigodo was formed. So you can see, and you cannot remember that Esan are native Aboriginals that are not children of any Oba of Benin. I hereby challenge you, any one of you that goes by the title of a scholar, to say you are a scholar, to say you are an historian, I challenge you. If you go by this school of thought, or you are of this school of thought, that Esans are children of Oba of Benin, or Esans are descendants of Benin Kingdom, I am challenging you to tell the world, reveal to the world, any king in Esan land, both in the present and in this both in the past and in this present time. Tell us any of these kings that is any son of any Oba of Benin. We all know whether you pass through school education or not. We know fully well that before a person can be called your son, your child, it is that you are the biological father of that child. In our Africa cultural recognition, in our Africa race, the only way to identify your race is through partnership. This is why I am challenging any scholar or anybody that is of the school of thought that Esan are children of the Oba of Benin to tell us any Esan king that is a biological son to any Oba of Benin. Now, it is said by the Benin people who has always propagated this falsified historical narrative that they made up. It is said that Esan language is Edo language. It is also furtherly said in Edo proverbs that the Edo language that was not spoken correctly is what eventually turns into Esan language. They said that Edonama Zese or Esan. You can imagine how they have devalued the Esan people via their historical narrative. Now, I want to say this. Esan is not just a language. Esan is a race. That is why we have dialects across the Esan language that is spoken in all Esan land, in the 35 kingdoms of Esan. These dialects are not Edo dialects. Esan language is the language we have been speaking ever since creation of Esan people, ever since humanity. This Esan language is now the diluted language of the Edo people. You cannot say that the language of a people that they are speaking is your language, and those people language have various dialects across their language, and these dialects that cut across their language is a dialect that you don't understand. There is no Edo person that can understand the dialect that is spoken in Esan language. And for you to know that the Edo language is a dialect of Esan language, is that you will find a lot of Esan people who speak Edo fluently. Maybe after 2 years, 3 years, 5 years of them staying in Edo South. But when you come to Esan land, you will find a lot of Edo people who came to school in Esan land, stayed there for 6 years, 5 years, 4 years, and they cannot speak Esan fluently. You can't say Esan language is your dialect, is your language, yet even when you live amidst them, you can't speak the language fluently. Like the Esan people speak Edo fluently, because the Edo language, you see, is just a language that is Esan dialect. Although that language of the Edo people that is Esan dialect, that is a borrowed language from the Esan and added Yoruba language on top it, is what we the Esan people don't lay claim on to say we are the one who gave birth to the Benin people. Because we understand the principle of live and let's live. But the Benin people has always, by way of monopoly, cook up some histories that is telling the world that Esan people are the children of Benin people. So, how can it be that Esan that is a race is a product of a people that is not a race, just a group of people who speak only Edo language, straight Edo language, where you cannot find any dialects? So, my people, the Esan people has been fed with wrong historical narrative. And this is why you see some Esan sons and daughters referring to themselves, identifying themselves as Edo person or Benin person. When you ask some Esan person who are they will put away their Esan identity. Instead of them to tell you that I am an Esan man or Esan woman, they will tell you that I am a Benin man or Edo man or Edo woman. We also have some Esan people who are parading themselves on media as Edo baby. But when you go to check where they are from, who they are 100% Esan daughters. You will see some of them piloting themselves with Benin identity. Who do we have to blame? If your child keep identifying his or herself in the wrong way, even after this child has grown onto full-grown person, onto full-grown adult. If your child continue to identify his or herself wrongly, who do we have to blame? We have to blame you, the parents, because you fail to let your children in a way of telling them who they are, giving them their true identity. Because you gave birth to them in a particular location, Edo South, in Benin, you keep telling them that we are all Beninese, Okba Amahin. And you see our musician keeps singing Okba Amahin, Okba Amahin. We are not saying we are not one, but the oneness should be adequately defined, because group of people, multi-ethnic group of people came to dwell together. That is the oneness. The Okba Amahin that you are supposed to teach our people is not that we are children of the Benin people. Edo, it is in the Esan present, the identity of Edo was taken. Edo means servant, just as Igbo means servant. Edo means servant, just as Igbo means servant and slave. Edo is a name of a servant boy that was taken by Oba Ewari I to name his group of people, people of Edo. Before that name was taken as an identity of those group of people, the Esan people has always existed, were already existing thousands of years before the era of Oba Ewari I, who took up the name Edo as an identity of his group of people. So we cannot continue to refer to ourselves as Edo baby, as Edo daughter, when in all reality, you are not Edo. You are not Benin. I want to also quickly tell us about two versions of Esan. But before I tell us about these two versions of Esan, I will say this without being economical with the truth. Our people that has been fed with wrong identity today, the blame should be channeled to our images. Our energies, most of our energies are not doing enough in making sure they restore and uphold the true identity of the Esan. Our ancestors, Elimi Esan, they are being disappointed because their children are being identified in the identity our ancestors did not bring for us. Our energies have to be blamed because they are supposed to be the custodians of Esan culture, Esan identity. But in their very before, Esan identity has been trampled upon, and Esan is fast going into extinct because our identity has now been wrapped up with Benin, has now been overshadowed with Benin. And when you ask some of these images, Jason Davaye, they will say Edo Madavaye. They should narrate our history. This is why I want to tell you about the two versions of Esan. Number one, before Igodo Migodo was formed, there were already Esan settlements in all the Esan kingdoms I have called to you now. The other version of the Esan people are the Esan people who joined the multi-ethnic groups of people that include Edo people to build Igodo-Migodo. And we were coexisting together. Some of the Esan people were coexisting together with multi-ethnic group of people in Igodo-Migodo land, in Idu Igodo-Migodo land. And that Idu Igodo-Migodo land was the land the Edo people went to Yoruba to go and invite Oromiyan. When Oromiyan came to come and rule over them as king, simply because they failed in their era when kingship got to them, because in Igodo-Migodo that we formed together, it was a kind of monarchical structure that is rotational monarchical structure, where every group provide kings after the reign of the other king is done with by way of death. So the other group will provide king. When it get to the Benin people, they were quarreling amidst themselves. They were fighting amidst themselves. By reason of that fight and quarrel, there was long interregnum. And on that interregnum, where no king was on seat, for the Edo people not to lose it all, they traveled to the neighboring kingdom, which was Ile-Ife, to go and ask Oduduwa to come and help them. And that was when Oromiyan came. And when Oromiyan came, Oromiyan could not rule over them, but left in anger and referred to the land as Ile-Ibinu, which in Yoruba language, Ile-Ibinu means land of disputes, land of vexation, land of quarrel. And Oromiyan went. When the Portuguese came, they met that name, and for easy pronunciation, they called the name Benin. So, after Oba dynasty has been ushered in from Yoruba land to the land of Igodo-Migodo, Oba dynasty became very, very cruel. And that Idu Igodo-Migodo land was referred to as land of blood. By reason of that cruelty, the Esan people that joined in building that Idu Igodo-Migodo land, they begin to retreat. They went back to go and form their own Esan kingdom alongside with the Esan people that were already settled in Esan lands. So you can see the two versions I am talking about. So when you hear any Esan person saying that we are from Benin, that person is not necessarily telling you that is the Benin people that gave birth to them, or is Oba of Benin that gave birth to them. Benin is a name of a geographical location. Benin was never a name of a tribe. Benin is not a tribe. Benin is not a race. Edo is a group of people. Benin is not a tribe. Benin is not a race. But Esan is a race. That is why in Esan language you have various dialects of Esan language. So when you hear our people short narrating their history to say we come from Benin, it does not mean that they are saying it's the Benin people that gave birth to them. They are telling you the place they transit from. Esan race is a race of long coming that cannot be short narrated with Benin history, with Oba dynasty. Because before Oba dynasty, Esan were already born. Esan were already existing. Before Benin kingdom, Esan were already existing. Before Igodo-Migodo, Esan had their settlement. Esans are native, ancient aboriginals. They are not products of the Benin people. Why did I say our custodians have to be blamed in this area? Because they have always short narrated our history by telling us Edo Madavai and end it there. But Edo has no meaning in Esan language. When you take up an identity of Edo, or Edo as a preface to your name, adding Edo to your name, for example, Edobo, the question you should ask yourself, what is the meaning of Edo in Esan language? Edo is a borrowed name to any one of you that has Edo as an attachment to the name you bear. And if the name you are bearing is does not have any meaning in your language, that name is alien to you. We are not Edo. Those of you that go to open social media platform and identify yourself as Edo babe, you have to have a rethink. Those of you that when you are asked, where are you from? You say you are Benin. You have to have a rethink. You are Esan. You are not Benin. Do you now see how Esan is fast going into extinct? Like the young lady that won the award of Miss World recently. The tag that she have across her shoulder, her identity is put there as Edo. It is us that are on social media that has now started circulating it that this is Esan's daughter, this is Esan's daughter, because most of us know her in person. So you can see how our people have been taking wrong identity and how by reason of this wrong identity, wrongly identifying ourselves, misplaced identity, you can see how it's leading Esan to fastly go into extinct. Imagine if that tag of that young lady is carrying Esan. It's a way to sell Esan identity to the world. But our people are now carrying wrong identity, thereby making our ancestors to regret and to be disappointed over them. This is why I am calling our forerunners, our traditional rulers, custodians of Esan, supposed custodians of Esan, to stand up and take their rightful place by way of helping us to retain our identity. Because our true identity is not being retained. When we talk about the Benin Kingdom or Benin Empire, it can be likened unto the Roman Empire that is no longer existing. The people, the tribe and languages that were brought together, falsified together by way of conquests for territorial expansion of the Roman Empire. Those people were all not Italians, but they were part and parcel of Roman Empire because their kingdoms and community were invaded and conquered by the emperors of Rome. That is what Benin is as well. It is also said or always said by the Benin people that Oba Eware conquered 201 towns and villages because they were opportune to lay hold on advanced weapons of war that they got from the Portuguese who came to call Benin, who came to call Ile Benin. So these advanced weapons of war was what the Benin people were using to invade people's territory. This is why you hear this Ika brother that I am going to play his video to you, to also listen to them as they are standing up to rightly identify themselves and push the Benin back by telling the Benin that Ika are not descendants of Benin people. They agreed that they were conquered. But Esan were not conquered by the Benin people. Esan that were not conquered by the Benin people have now subjected themselves to the Benin because of Edo State that was created or that is created for multi-ethnic groups. We have more than 3 ethnic groups in Edo State. Esan that were never conquered by the Benin people. All the war that the Benin people brought into Esan land, the Esan people defeated the Benin in that war. But today, Esan race seems to be sold out to the Benin people. Esan has turned collateral damage and exit door for the Benin people. Esan has been used as product that is dashed to the Benin people in the very before of our royal fathers. This is so disappointing. Very soon, that which is anti-nature, sacrilegious, and taboo to Esan people will come into practice in Esan land, where you will see a man marrying 2 sisters, like it is done in Edo. Oba can marry 2 sisters in Edo. But in Esan land, it cannot be so. But because of how we have subjected ourselves to these Benin people, you will not see that this anti-nature will not become our practice. Because when you practice anti-nature, the spirit of the ancestors, the enemies and that should have rise up and strike immediately, will be dormant, will not strike no longer, because anti-nature has been carried out to domify the vibrancy of the rocks of the ancestors. That is what anti-nature does. Very soon, you will hear that we have turned into people that married their blood sister, their cousin sisters as well. So this is why we now have to stand up, we the Esan sons and daughters, to begin to push for the true Esan identity. And for we to be able to get the true Esan identity is the creation of Esan states, where we will not be subjects of anybody. Where if we speak up, nobody will come and threaten us. Do you know that the so-called Benin kingdom you have been hearing is a kingdom where people are falsified together? And if you dare speak up, you'll be used for sacrifice. That is why you always hear the Benin people say that, if it was before, they will kill you for Ogwamba, they will use you for sacrifice. Nobody dare speak. Nobody dare come and expose the truth. It was like always, I'm Wamba. The kind of emperoism is a monarchical structure emperoism that we have subjected ourselves to. It's Nebuchadnezzar structures of emperoism, so to say. That monarchical structure that we have subjected ourselves to is Nebuchadnezzar concept of emperoism. And as such, the land was referred to as land of blood. Because truth cannot be led to the light. This is why Agbe Erodari Okusun has always been threatened by some of the Benin people. They call me and threaten me because I am letting the truth out. They call me to tell me that wherever they see me, they will kill me. But I tell you the truth. Instead of me to keep mute because of fear and allow the Esan race to go into extinct, I will do my part to make sure I tell our people the truth. By reason of this falsified foundation, where people are brought together upon lies, the Ogiamia people that are brothers and sisters to the called Edo people, they are rising up, they have been rising up for their own independent recognition, because they know that the Benin system is a system that is cooked up together with lies, is a foundation that is built on lie, oppression, subjection. Essence, we cannot allow ourselves to be overshadowed no longer. We are the native aboriginals. And as a matter of fact, Benin's are descendants of Esan people. That is why when you get to Uzebu, the core aboriginals of Uzebu are descendants of Esan. They greet like Esan. And apart from their ancestral greeting like Esan, or Isan, IJ-san, they are ancestrally Esan people. But that land has been ceded to Edo South local government because of the creation of local government area in Edo.